Good morning, guys. How about a little Friday morning coffee talk now that we've all had a few hours to digest the dictator-in-chief's idiotic comments from last night? So, in case you missed my quick reaction yesterday, there was a video I posted, obviously, that wasn't here to discuss my thoughts on it. I'm going to kind of go into a little bit more on it here. Now, Joe came out and literally said, this is not about freedom or personal choice. I hate to tell you this, Joe. Here in America, the country was based on freedom and personal choice. So everything is based on freedom and personal choice in the United States of America. If you haven't got that memo and you're near 80 years, maybe you need to go back and read the Constitution, even though you've already had it marked as offensive language. So go read the damn thing. Might let you know a little bit about what you're supposed to be doing in your job. Oh, by the way, that's another point. This is your job, okay? Let me explain another thing to you. You are not a dictator. You are not all-powerful. You are not God, okay? You work for me and 330 some odd million other people in this country. You do not have the right to tell us what to do. Actually, it's the exact other way around. We tell you what to do, and it is your responsibility to act on it, not the other way around, okay? You are not king for life. You are not der Fuhrer, okay? Even though you may think you are, right? This is not North Korea, all right? Sorry, Joe, but your mandates are going nowhere. Now, as expected, a lot of people were going to go absolutely ballistic about this. Read the comments, a lot of them last night after I put up my video. A lot of you guys watched the speech and pretty much had the same response to your TV as I did. You know, there were a lot of birds flying yesterday, I know that much. And, you know, hopefully there aren't too many TVs that got destroyed or computer screens that got thrown across the room. But this is going nowhere. I had dinner last night with Mountaintop Prepper and his wife, or the two of them, I guess, go under the same name, but however you want to put it. And so we were obviously discussing this. Now, personal thought on this whole thing, this is absolutely fear tactics. I mean, Joe's a puppet. We know, I mean, even Joe knows Joe's a puppet, okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious. The media knows Joe's a puppet. They know somebody else is pulling the strings. There's no way in the world they expect this to pass muster anywhere. But as long as they can come out and say it, my guess is they're figuring they can scare enough people into the, oh my God, I'll just do it. Or, you know, however it would be, you know, well, you know what, rather than, you know, because like I've said many things, human beings are like any other animal. We take the path of least resistance on everything. That's just animalistic nature, okay? You're not going to walk a big circle to get to the other side of your yard. You'll walk a straight line. You're not going to climb over a fence to do it when you can go through a gate. You take the path of least resistance. This is the same thing, and that's what they're counting on, is that everybody's like, oh, you know what, rather than have to fight my company or whatever, I'll just do the damn thing. And that's what the problem is. They have trained the public to be complacent over the last 30 years and lazy to the point where they'll just do it. Now, this executive order doesn't affect too much people that are retired for the most part. even people that are my age who are close enough to retirement who can say, screw it, I'm out of here, okay? But you think of the people in their 20s, 30s, 40s who are starting a career or mid-career or whatever, and they're going, crap, I can't afford to give everything up. I've got kids to feed. I've got a mortgage to pay. They're in their building phase of their life. So that makes it very interesting. And so what they're trying to do is put the fear of God in these people and make them do this. Now, as for the objections to it, this is, again, guys, this was the tipping point yesterday, okay? We have now hit the crux where Joe has declared war on people. I mean, y'all noticed how angry his speech was. He was more forceful in his speech against, berating Americans than he was forceful in a speech talking about terrorists in Afghanistan. Okay, figured out. So you know who Joe thinks the enemy is. The terrorists are his friends. The Americans are his enemies. Okay, and you can take that from Joe's actions. Funny. So coming out overnight, remember yesterday, we're going to mandate all federal employees, all companies that work for or with the government. Those were Joe's words. Okay, any company over $100,000 or 100 employees, $100,000. Yeah, it's early. Already, Joe has exempted the post office, 600,000 people. They don't have to do it. Why? Because something like 70% of the people in the post office haven't participated, and the postal union's like, we ain't doing this. All right. Now, you think of all the other unions in a lot of these companies, IBEW or UAW or anything like this, or, pick one. They are adamantly against this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this does. But again, you have no big surprise on the divide in the country, red and blue. We are, as I'm recording this, about 13 hours, it's a little after 6 o'clock, about 13 hours from Joe's speech. The governors of these states have already said, go to hell, Joe. Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Indiana, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and West Virginia have already said no. All right, you want to hear some of these quotes? These are actually pretty good, okay? Kristi Noem, South Dakota will stand up to defend freedom. Joe Biden, see you in court. The RNC has already announced they are suing Joe over this unconstitutional mandate, okay? Brian Kemp, not exactly your most conservative governor, but I'll give him this one. I will pursue every legal option available to the state of Georgia to stop this blatantly unlawful overreach by the Biden administration. Okay? Kevin Stitt, from Oklahoma, as long as I'm governor, there will be no government vaccines and mandates in this state. Okay? Greg Abbott, already working to halt Biden's mandate power grab. Kay Ivey, not exactly another conservative stalwart. Once again, POTUS has missed the mark. His outrageous, overreaching mandates will no doubt be challenged in the courts. Okay. There's the one. My state, Bill Lee. Trust me, I looked this one up. Okay. This is not about freedom is a phrase that should never come out of a U.S. president's mouth. For a fight that requires working together, a lot of cynical and divisive edicts come out of the White House today, pitting the vaccinated against the unvaccinated, business against employees, and the federal government against states. Guys, if you noticed when I read that list, those states every single one of them, voted for 45 in 2020. You notice I didn't mention any blue states. This is what I said for the longest time, that we were going to see a lockdown around Labor Day. I expected a lockdown. I didn't expect this because, again, like I said a long time ago, legally the federal government can't do this. They're trying another end run. That's typical of the Democrats. The Constitution means nothing. The law means nothing. Their power means everything. They want a dictatorship. And that is where we're going with this. It's going to be a fight. We are all going to be, excuse me, we are all going to have to make some very, very tough decisions. Okay? I mean, it may be, do I leave my job? I mean, again, we've all said this many times. Don't quit, make them fire you. Okay? Companies will probably ignore this, I'm betting. Because, if they've got 90% of their people, if you're a replaceable cog, that, oh, gee, there's 6 more people in line waiting to take your job, yeah, you're in trouble. Okay? But most people in this country, with the job market the way it is, are, to use their term, essential workers. Okay? Companies can't afford to lose all their engineers, all their line workers, all their burger flippers, all their waitresses, all their cashiers. I mean, pick anything, okay? Again, this is choice. The big question still comes out. If you're vaccinated, what do you care if the person next to you isn't? You should be totally safe, right? You're vaccinated. That's the definition of it. So that tells you there's something more to this. And with everybody's speculation out there about what it is, nobody really knows. At least nobody in the public really knows. But we know there's an ulterior motive to this. And could it, is it the one world government? Is it depopulation? I mean, everybody's speculated from, one side of the fence to the other. Okay, there's no need to go into that anymore. But this, for a president who got elected saying, I don't believe in mandates, now do it. For a president who got elected by saying, we need to unify this country, sure as hell didn't sound like it yesterday, okay? He drew battle lines. Vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Let's just add another layer to the rich versus poor, black versus white, left versus right, whatever it would be. We all called Obama the divider in chief. Biden's taken nothing from him. Okay. And again, we all pretty much know who's pulling the strings, and it's a guy who owns the house a couple of blocks from the White House. All right. If y'all don't think by now this is Obama's 3rd term and Joe is just the one as the mouthpiece, you're sadly mistaken. Barack Obama is the devil reincarnate. There is no question about that. He is on a sole mission to destroy this country by any means necessary. It goes back to Joe saying months ago, I've got the F-15s and the nukes or whatever it would be. That's the mentality of this administration, of the Democrat Party. They are ready to kill the American public. They are completely comfortable with it. If you don't bow down and agree to worship at the altar of the DNC, they have no problem killing millions of people. They're trying to do it by any means necessary. And, to voluntarily walk into the line of fire is just dangerous. So, guys, I know this is crazy. I mean, it's just as crazy for me as it is for everybody. It's what we've all talked about, balkanization. It's gonna happen, all right? We're gonna wind up somewhere between 3 and 5 countries pretty soon, all right? And, looking at this map, it'll be interesting to see, what these little pockets. I've got to think Louisiana eventually jumps on board, but, John Bell Edwards is a coward. Kansas will jump on board. Colorado and New Mexico, who knows? I mean, blue states in the middle of a sea of red, they're going to be in trouble. Maybe Kentucky jumps on, but, the rest of it, maybe Ohio, I don't know. But, if you look at this map of all the countries that of all the states I told you, it's literally a exact divide as how the 2020 election went, all right? And red and blue. I mean, of course, sure, throw in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, that kind of, teeter both ways, and they haven't said anything yet. We'll see what happens, but get ready, guys. It's coming. I mean, it's here. I mean, there is no it's coming. War has been declared on the people of the United States by our own government. I've said many times there's going to be a flashpoint. I would expect to see it pretty soon. Tomorrow's 9/11. Let's hope the flashpoint doesn't come from overseas, let's just put it that way, on the 20th anniversary of one of the worst days in American history. Have a good one, y'all.